As we near 1 year since Hurricane Helene impacted communities all across our region, we're highlighting the stories of those who lived through it. And joining me now is Dr. Tim Perry from Frontier Health to speak on dealing with the trauma that was caused by the flooding we saw last September. Thanks so much for being here today to talk about this heavy but very important topic.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Well, we know that many people are still impacted by Helene in so many different ways. What are some emotions that might come up as we mark 1 year since the flood?
Well, one thing I'd like to say is the process of healing and the recovery is a process. It's a journey, and there will be milestones. The first anniversary is a major milestone, and actually there's a term referred to as anniversary reactions that's normal for people to have who've been through a traumatic event like that. So feelings of grief, anger, the feelings of frustration, all of those really come to the surface. So close to the anniversary of that event, those feelings are very tender and very triggered by the anniversary of this event.
Well, we know that this week people will be seeing a lot of coverage looking back on Helene's devastation. They'll also be seeing these ceremonies, memorials, and other events surrounding this big milestone. What are some ways that people can handle these emotions and cope with what's going on?
Well, the first thing is to actually acknowledge that you have the feelings, and it's okay. It's okay to not be okay right now. It's okay to recognize that you're having these. As these visions and images of what happened a year ago trigger those emotions, accept the fact that it may bring up feelings of depression, anger, loss, grief, anger, and all those kinds of things. So that's the first step. Being prepared. As we're getting closer to that date, and you know that date's coming, think for yourself, how do I want to handle that date? Do I want to see these images? Do I want to limit how much exposure I have to the media coverage? How do I personally want to commemorate, or do I want to commemorate what happened a year ago? And how do I need to do that for myself? So sometimes it's a very personal choice in how we want to deal with what happened a year ago.
Well, let's talk about the first responders and the government leaders who have had to deal with this as well, because they have never dealt with anything like this before. What are some tips for them as they're also seeing this flood be remembered and even putting on some of these events that are commemorating the milestone?
Focus on the positive. As we look back at the images a year ago, look where we were, but look at where we've came to. The resilience that we have shown as a community. Focus on the positive strengths, how we have rebuilt, how we go forward from here. This milestone is also a time of reflection, healing, and moving forward. And let's focus on that movement forward to commemorate the good things that this great community we live in have shown through the resourcefulness and support for our fellow neighbors through this event.
Let's talk about the children, because we all know that they deal with things differently. So how can parents help their children who still might be struggling in the storm's aftermath?
One is set a good example before them. Stay calm, trying to talk to them about it. Let them open the conversation about what happened. Ask them how they're feeling. Have open-ended questions. Be willing to listen to their stories without judging or trying to impress them with what you're experiencing as an adult, because it may be very different for a child. And most importantly, reassure them of their safety, their security, and the help that was provided even during that disaster that's still there when we go through something that's major like this.
If someone is sitting at home right now and watching this and thinking, maybe I'm still having some issues with the impact that Helene has left on me, what would you say to them? Is it too late for them to come and get some help?
Absolutely not. It's never too late. And it's normal to have that. And sometimes it can be very distressful to have those feelings come to the surface again. Don't be afraid to reach out to someone to give you some guidance, some coaching, because we all have been affected by this in some way. And it's not a shame to say, I might need a little help overcoming this. And that's okay. There's resources out there.
All right. Well, Dr. Perry, as always, thank you so much for coming on. Great advice every single time. Again, thank you. Well, if you'd like to reach out to Frontier Health for more resources or information, there's a number right there on your screen, and you can also reach out to the email address that's there too.